All right, here we are. We're going to talk about MOOCs, which are one of these things we've all heard about, and some of us might have even taken a look at some of them. And I'm going to look at how they will fit into a 21st century secondary school. Being a high school teacher, I've used them, I've had them part of flip lessons and things like that, but how might we create a MOOC, and what is it, and how is it different than it has been recently? First of all, we'll look at the teacher. We all know that those of us who are technologically plugged in, where there's all sorts of things that we can access and are part of what we do and combine to make the possibilities of as a classroom teacher. From notice there are actually people, colleagues at the top, but all the other technology pieces of different things that we could combine or put together to make our course. And just to look at what MOOC means, it's a massive open online courses. It's something that's by about 10 years old now. It started with universities in Europe and then spread to American universities. Stanford, followed shortly by Harvard and Yale, and then MIT, and now many places have these courses that were free for use to take. You could actually get a certificate, although if you take the same course as a college kid would take, and you could get, without paying tuition, a certificate that says you completed it by doing the assignments, even though you wouldn't get the college credit for it. Here's all the things that go into a MOOC at the university system. You can see the different courses, all things that make what a MOOC is. And the interesting word above university is crowdsourced, and that's the most intriguing thing for me about what MOOCs have evolved into. At first, you think of a MOOC of this painting of a person watching on a laptop being filmed by a person speaking, being filmed by a person talking on a laptop, and just this endlessness of simple um, looking at what needs to go on and videotaping it and then putting it online and then having somebody watch it and then maybe take a test, or just having somebody watch it and then do that. Now, of course, that's the core of flip lessons as well, but I think it needs to be much more than this. MOOCs, I think, need to be involved with social learning in the many facets that we've studied, whether it be Google Apps, whether it be Moodle pages, whether it be Google site pages, but need to be guided with teachers, but also need to be created and evolved and contributed to by the students as well. MOOCs happen within a network, um, and I believe that we need to move forward to learners using all sorts of social media and online pieces to add content, deal with content, organize content, and then, as the third bullet point says, participate and aggregate courses, create information, create pathways to studying units, create assessments, take each other's assessments. If not, take each other's assessment for a summative assessment, but maybe used for the next people that take the course, so that it is involved where students and teachers interact together to create what goes on here. To look at the RAT model, I think originally people used MOOCs, or MOOCs were developed of film the professor, film the teacher teaching, videotape it, and put it online. And I think some people have amplified that by using a flipped classroom where the questions are then answered in class, and there's a teacher there to guide those questioning after the basic information is. But I think that we could take it to a transformational level where teachers and students work together and create together and use each other's resources and ideas to further what the goals of the class are. Um, I think we're as teacher, and myself included, we're locked into this control issue of we have to make sure teachers do what they're supposed to do and students follow what the teachers tell them to do, and every experience is the same, and we must do number one and then number two and then number three, and if we do number 10 before we do number four, we're all going to fall off the earth and something bad's going to happen. And I think we have to let some of that go. Especially in the social sciences, is let students take things forward and give them autonomy in their learning. and help them guide themselves with what they need to do and know what to do and work with. So the final thing I would put forth is this idea of the hybrid synergy drive, where teachers and students work together to combine, create, and kind of work together and curate almost what goes on in these courses. And that's how MOOCs can fit best in a secondary model where the teacher is a guide, but students are creators. Students have to step up and create, and teachers have to step back and let students create, stumble, fail, find success, do better, take each other's assessments, be okay with mediocrity, and then coach them into exemplary.